what happens is that the moon goes into the house of the mind, and the moon is very changeable, and the mind is also quite changeable. So such a person becomes with a very restless mind. Such people are constantly thinking, constantly in their head, constantly combining, calculating, thinking back or into the future about things. Their mind just becomes so restless, so full of activity. Such person is constantly like a bit, it gives you Gemini qualities, third house, moon in third house. And emotionally restless as well. Their feelings can be very changeable as well, just because third house is the house of movement, because it's the mind, and the mind moves, and third house is movement. So a lot of movement in a mental thinking for those people. A lot of they're so identified with their thinking processes. That's why they can be great journalists, authors. They're great at getting new information. They're great at writing as well, but any kind of communications, exchanging informations, they're great for becoming, for instance, intermediaries, so those that connect different fractions of people together, those that connect businesses, that take a commission, those that, for instance, even traders, where you need to communicate a lot, journalists, writers, teachers, when you're stimulated by other people and you have to communicate with them as well. It's very natural. It feels very natural for those people to communicate, to express their thoughts as well. And something that is natural and you feel comfortable with, you can be very good for you for a career. And the moon third house rules travel, and the moon is itself travel, because moon is very much, it rules seas and overseas travel. So for such people, they can be almost constantly on the move. They might be traveling a lot to different countries, or even within their own country or within their own city. They can be constantly busy, up and down, on the go, and these people need constant stimulation mentally and emotionally to feel comfortable, they feel comfortable with the TV is on, they're talking on the phone, the laptop is on, Skype is ringing. They can handle that emotionally. Actually, they need it to feel alive, to feel excited, to feel emotionally comfortable. If you go with a partner who has moon in the third house, and if you're too set in routines, always doing the same thing, kind of too, horse with blinkers, such people might get quickly bored with you. It doesn't mean they'll break up with you or anything, but they need this stimulation to feel emotionally comfortable. And moon shows also where you feel very emotionally attached to something. And third house rules siblings, brothers and sisters, relatives, cousins, So such people can have very strong emotional connections with those siblings. Sometimes it can be through a source of stress or through a source of happiness. It doesn't mean the relationship will be great. For different ascendants, it will be different. For instance, for Sagittarius ascendant moon, or Sagittarius or Aquarius ascendant moon in the third house rules difficult houses. So the relationship with the brother or the sister or the relatives and siblings will be more disruptive, but they'll still feel emotionally quite attached to such people. They will be very important for them. Also, third house rules your teammates at work, for instance, people that you cooperate with. Such people with the moon in the third house, they can kind of find friendships and get emotionally attached to such people, to put a lot of heart in the relationship with such people. And also, as we said, the third house rules the mind, and the moon is very receptive, impressionable planet. The moon is a female planet, and it's receptive qualities. So such people, they're like soaks. Whatever you tell them, they can remember. They can soak it up. Their memory will stick to what you tell them, and they will. Such people, as I said, they're very impressionable. So that's why they're good for writers. The mind is deeply impressed with stimulations as well, and. Whew, third house is also the house of learning new things. So these people, it will come naturally to them. They'll feel very comfortable with acquiring new skills, learning new skills, because their curiosity is quite deep. It's quite something that is just ingrained, inborn in them. So they're not afraid to start on a new journey. They're kind of adventurous, excitable, constantly thirsting, looking for, searching for new information, new stimulation. They can be also sometimes a bit of a gossiper, or talking too much, or they just have this emotional need to be in contact, to converse, to communicate with others. And as I said, they're great to work in teams. They'll be constantly stimulating everyone around them. Much travel, and the moon rules your place also. One of the things that the moon rules is your home and place where you can settle down, place which you can call home. And third house is the house of moving. So these people can change quite a few times residences, can move a few times, might be moving. And actually they feel okay with that. They have an emotional need to change residences. They have an emotional need to relocate, to move about, getting stuck in one place forever. It might be a bit of a challenge for them, so to speak. And the mother, the moon also describes the mother or the major mother, nurturing figure, which might be a grandmother or if the mother was too busy, or someone who played a mothering role in your life. The mother can be like that, a bit of a gossiper, talkative, informed, maybe connected to media in some ways, or just communicative person, with stimulation, with communication a lot in her life, mentally active type of mother. Well, I think that's a good position. Actually, in Western astrology, is considered one of the best houses for the moon, because it makes a person more active, mentally more stimulated, impressionable mind. So you have to be careful for such people what TV you allow them to watch or not, for such children sometimes, because everything they see, they soak up, and they get very strongly impressed. So be careful what you allow them to watch. It can very much influence their whole outlook on life, because the moon shows the lens through which you see life, and the medias and what they read in newspapers and magazines for such people will be, almost like a rule. They can almost soak it to the bones. So be careful that those children are surrounded by more mild and not aggressive type of media and information, sources of information in their life. Thank you.